morning. You have tuned into TP3 Ministries presents. Grab your coffee, grab your word, get comfortable, and stay tuned to be blessed.
Good morning, 106.3 family and friends, and also those who are watching us live by Facebook on True Purpose, True Power, True Praise Facebook page. I am Pastor Audrus,
and I'm
Senior
the
Pastor.
Millennial Pastor. Oh, I didn't let you finish talking, did I? I'm Millennial Pastor Doug Johnson. How's it going, guys?
So we're going to get right into things. We're going to talk about, since I got checked this morning, we're going to talk about change.
Yeah.
And we're going to deal with Matthew, the 5th chapter, and Matthew, the 18th chapter. As believers, and we're going to jump right on into this, as believers, we're supposed to be examples to the world. And us who are what we think spiritually mature, we should be helping those who are new to being a believer. And one of the things in the word, it says, talking about being salt and light. So let's jump into it again. That's the 5th chapter of Matthew. We will be reading out of the Message Bible. And we're going to start at verse 13.
All right, guys, here we go. I will be your reader for the day, so let's get started. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here to be salt seasoning that brings out the God flavors on this earth.
Pause. Now you mind you, this is Jesus talking. And he's talking to us believers. Let me tell you why you are here. So this is the man himself getting ready to let you know why we are on this earth. And what we should be doing, what we should be looking like, what we should be smelling like, what we should be talking, walking, breathing like. So go start there again from you're here to be.
You are here to be salt seasoning that brings out the God flavors on this earth. If you let your saltiness, if you lose your saltiness, how will people taste godliness? You've lost your usefulness, and will end up in the garbage. So I think it's kind of funny here because what does salt do? Salt is a seasoning. You put seasoning on something that's bland. You put seasoning on something to bring out flavor or to add flavor to it. So with that being the case, salt creates change. You add salt to something that does not have taste. You add something to salt. You add salt to something that does not have enough flavor. It makes it bearable to deal with. Because on its own, you might not finish eating it.
So if you're spreading it on things to make it better, so in the spiritual sense, are you saying that we should be showing the God in us, the Christ in us, and sharing with other people or spreading it to other people and letting them taste what God looks like, what he talks like, what he tastes like, what he believes in?
Man.
Seasoning that brings out the God flavors. So people should be able to, even if they hear this, even if they don't understand right away what you really are about, they should see something different about you as a believer.
Ooh, have you ever been to a place or a restaurant where you tasted something, you're like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's real good, man.
Yes,
what's in this food, man? What's in this food? And then if they're ever so gracious enough to tell you what the ingredient is that makes that same food that they have always had taste different, or in this case, better, you're like, really? That's it? Is that simple? Yeah. It's salt.
God flavors. I love that. Of this earth. We're supposed to be, I say it all the time, Jesus has gone away. So we're supposed to be that example, we're now supposed to be that salt. We're supposed to be that seasoning that people be like, oh man, there's something good about him. And then you come back around that person and they experience something different. It's another type of seasoning. And now they're experiencing your love, and they're experiencing your joy, and they're experiencing your peace. All these salt seasonings.
Now, obviously, in this chapter, with Jesus speaking to his disciples, which is obviously a clarion call to anyone who believes in him, he is, for those who are saying, I don't even like salt, that's not the point of the passage, because you might be like, well, I ain't got to do it because I don't like salt. No, he said we're bringing out the God flavors. He said you are to be like salt.
But if you read this and then you say you don't like salt, are you saying that you're not a believer? Because this is what Jesus is saying. This is what he's telling us. And at the point to when he's saying these things, we're supposed to receive it. We're supposed to believe it. It's not about what you like.
It's really not. It's not about what you like, because what you like, I mean, think about all the times that what you like has put you in a compromised position. It's put you in a place to where now you're crying out for help. I can say for myself, and we believe here at TP3 by using ourselves as examples. You know, I put myself in many situations because of what I liked, or what I thought I really liked. But could it be that what I liked was a misunderstanding of what I needed? Could it be that I was trying to fill myself up with some things that I thought I needed? Therefore, I had attraction drawn to that in the verbiage of me saying that I like it.
And then it goes on to say, if you lose your saltiness, how will people taste godliness?
How?
I mean, like, I went to Cracker Barrel with my dad yesterday, and the pork chops didn't have any seasoning on them.
Wow.
So I had an opportunity either to eat it without the seasoning, or what did I do? I put some seasoning on it. And that pork chop, it looked good, but it was missing the seasoning.
Wow.
And man, I put some seasoning on there, cut into it, put that in my mouth.
That was good.
It was good.
It was good.
And that's how we should be experiencing each other as Christians. I should be able to go to you. You should be able to come to me and taste the flavors of the God we serve.
Now, one thing salt doesn't do, or one thing salt is not supposed to do within its purpose, is to conform to the original taste of what is going on top of. Salt is not supposed to adjust to the food that is being sprinkled upon, being dashed upon, being dosed upon, however you will. Salt is supposed to lie on top of it, blend its substances inside of the food, and bring out the real authentic flavor of the food.
Teach.
So, here when it says, if you lose your saltiness, how will people taste godliness? If you are shaped like salt, or as the book of Timothy talks about, I believe it's 1 Timothy says, you have a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. You look like something that you don't taste like. Then how will people taste godliness when they go to bite into your life, when they look at your life, when they study your life, when they follow you, because your words are declaring something that your life does not? So, with that being the case, Jesus says that you've lost your usefulness and you're better off in the garbage.
Well, you've lost your usefulness and will end up in the garbage. Because sometimes that's what we do with food. It's like, you know what? Man, this ain't even no good. It ain't got no seasoning to it. Don't taste like nothing. I'm going to throw it away. Isn't it awesome how when you really keep the word simple, you can relate it to where you can understand it? You do that almost every day with food.
Really
if it's something that you don't like and it just doesn't taste right, what do we do with it? We get rid of it. But if you can't grasp this thing about the salt, look what it says in verse 14.
Here's another way to put it. You're here to be light. bringing out the God colors in this world. God is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this, as public as a city on a hill.
God is not a secret to be kept. That's interesting that that's said, and when you go to these quote-unquote churches, that's where they seem like they keep God a secret the most. Uh-oh, did I say that? Yeah, I sure did.
Oh, God.
I sure did. Because we come, guess what? Side note, sidebar, pause. When you gather yourselves together at these churches, what you're supposed to be doing, what we should experience, and what we do experience is what's going on in your life the other 6 days of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come there and you just sit and you don't participate, you don't give anything to the service, the only thing you're doing is showing what you do the other 6 days of the week.
You can only give to the service what you have. If I fellowship with someone, I'm bringing what I have, whether that's conversation, whether that's food, whether that's trade, whatever it is, I'm fellowshipping. So if I don't do nothing throughout the other 6 days of the week, what am I fellowshipping with other than a lie? Am I fellowshipping my issues? Am I fellowshipping what I had in mind, but I have no substance? I have nothing. So when I'm in these quote-unquote buildings, which are labeled as churches, I don't give up and give God praise, because I don't give God praise any other day throughout the week. I only give God discounted praise if I get what I want, if he gives me what I want. And that's using him. I don't love him. I'm using him. He's a means to an end. But if my life is light and my life is salt, how much greater will my appreciation be expressed throughout my praise and my obedience, which is true worship?
God is not a secret to be kept. TP3 Ministries is going public with this. I can't speak for the rest of you all, but for us, we're going public with this.
When's the last time somebody tried to hide New York? When's the last time somebody tried to hide Chicago? When's the last time somebody tried to hide Atlanta or Los Angeles? These cities are global. They're appreciated and they are known throughout the world. And people go out of their way to make vacation trips, to travel, to seek dreams in these cities, because these are the modern day cities on a hill. You know a city by its skyscrapers. You know a city by its skyline. I'm able to look and say, that's that place, or this is that place, or this is another. And based upon what that city represents, I go there. So if Jesus, or since Jesus is telling you that God is not a secret to be kept, you are to be like a city on a hill. We're going public with this thing. We're going public with the truth. We're going public with everything that God represents. We're going to give you everything, which means I get to hide nothing. I get to hide nothing. Everything about me is public in Christ. In Christ.
I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? So think about, and I always tell our members to slow down and read. Slow down and read. Read it. Slow down and look at the words. If I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? So if you're not advertising this, if you're not lit up with this, you might want to check your light bulb.
I'm putting you on a light stand before everybody. You're on display. Now that I have put you on a hilltop, on a light stand, shine. Keep open house. You can't be secretive. Be generous with your lives. By opening up to others, you'll promote people to open up with God. This generous Father in heaven, completing God's law. This is the fulfillment of anything you would read in the Old Testament. This right here is the fulfillment. He's literally telling you, be open. Be real. But not what people try to discount as real by saying, I got problems, and they just stay there. No, he's telling you, yeah, okay, you got problems. Now let's go public with what God is doing in your life